Ready to do this, Danny?
Let's do it.
Danielito McMahon.
What's up, Joe?
How are you, man?
I'm good, man.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I've got something very important to do here. Give me a sec. Hold on. I don't. Can you see me there? There you go. I was just setting an alarm.
Okay.
Well, I was told you only have an hour, so I'm gonna keep us on track today.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that.
No problem, man. So what? So you're in Colorado?
Still here.
We got to charge ahead, Danny. No small talk today. We got a lot of things to cover.
That's all we do is small talk.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
When do we do big talk?
No, we don't want to do big talk.
No big talk up in here.
We leave the big talk for other people.
Leave it for the serious podcasters. I was going to say bloggers.
Yeah, it seems too complicated to wrap my head around.
It takes like effort and everything.
Yeah, a little much. No, you're still in Colorado.
Yeah, man. Our stay out here continues. We extended to March 3rd.
Wow, very nice.
And for reasons that aren't interesting, but we're just like, we're having a good time. Everything's working out. And just decided, hey, why not just extend a couple more weeks? So March 3rd, I think, is our last day in the Airbnb. Uh-huh. And then we're still TBD on like where we're going to go after. We wanted to go somewhere for like a week or 2 weeks, or maybe south, like Austin, Texas area, or somewhere else. So that's still up in the air. But we're looking to get back to Chicago either early March or mid-March. So if we go on this little extended trip after, it'll be about mid-March. So yeah, still in Colorado, still in Boulder. Weather's been kind of crazy, Joe. I think it was -2 today. So, the whole idea, it's become this like dark joke now because everyone's like, oh, this is so weird. We never get this kind of weather. We never get this kind of weather and it's so cold and snowy. And I was just like, okay, that was fine for the first storm and then the second storm. And now it's like sub-zero temps and whatever. So I guess it is historically kind of like a weird winter, pretty hardcore. I came here to do more riding. That was a big part of it. Not the main part, but that was a big part of it. And, normally it's a little more temperate. I think it's like, usually more like in the 40s a lot. It would maybe go into the 50s quite a bit, maybe high 30s, but generally like mid 40s or something like that. And when it, the saying here is like, oh, it snows, but it melts in like a day or two. Well, the snow has been sticking around and it's been pretty brutal. I did go out on a couple really cold rides, but I enjoyed it. I actually invested in some nice Castelli winter riding gear.
I saw that. It looks like you hired a photographer to take professional photos of you climbing a hill out there.
Oh my God. It was so funny how that worked out, but you're right. It's funny.
It looked like a fashion shoot out there. I noticed your fancy new jacket.
Yeah. So I went on the Castelli website and, well, I was just trying to, deal with the reality here. I'm like, all right, it's going to be effing cold and I still want to ride. And I don't mind cold weather riding. So I'm just like, I'm just going to get some gear. And so I got some gear. I got the full thing, the jacket, the winter tights. I got, the bibs. I got the gloves and the shoe covers and all that. So I'm like, cool, I'm all set. But that day I was out riding. I think that was Flagstaff. That was like Saturday. Yeah, and I was riding up the climb. It was pretty cold, but not as cold as it is right now. It was probably like mid-20s or something.
23 according to your Twitter.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
It's 23. And as I'm riding about halfway or so up the climb, I'm coming. There are a few switchbacks, and so at this one switchback, I'm kind of like riding up to it, kind of slowly because I'm just like cruising along. And I see this young woman at the what would you call it, like the apex, like the actual corner of like the switchback part, right in the middle of it. And I was like approaching her. She was literally taking photos of like the forest to my right. So like, and I just screamed. I just go, "Can you take a picture of me?" And just like right out of Central Casting, she turns over and she goes,
wow.
She grabs a bunch of pics of me, and it's like we knew each other. It was really funny. So I, of course, wrote up to her and I'm like, "Hi, my name is Daniel," and she's like, "I'm Maggie," and I'm like, "Oh my god, sorry, that's so bizarre, I'm sure, but like, I just saw you shooting, and I like to shoot a little bit too, but I was wondering if you could just grab a photo of me because I want to have like one photo of myself riding in Colorado." And like, she had a decent little camera, and so I was like, "Oh, maybe she actually knows how to take a good picture." So long story short, yeah, she took a few photos, and then she sent them to me, and I Venmoed her a little cash prize. And yeah, she was super cool about it. So she was visiting from Minnesota, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm visiting from Chicago." So she was out on the mountain with some friends hiking and taking photos, and so yeah, so I got a nice little photo out of it. So just something to keep for the album,
Yeah, it was funny. I saw the photo. I'm like, boy, that's. I wonder if he was on a ride, or it looks like maybe one of those things where you're on some, it might have been one of those group rides or something, and there's where those photographers will show up and sell you a photo of yourself, climbing a hill. So I was wondering what that was all about. But yeah, it was a very nice photo, and
yeah, she was able to get a couple nice snaps.
Yeah.
And there was one I liked that I was like sharing, and yeah, it's just nice to have a little photo for the album.
An action shot, yeah,
an action shot. So it was super fun. But so the story has been just kind of like all this weather and nonsense. So
yeah, well, you're not missing anything here at home either. It's in the 20s, or I think it's going to be in the teens this week, and pretty cold. So,
but Joe, I want it to be amazing here so that I can feel like this was all worth it.
Yeah.
I want it to be freezing as hell in Chicago and nice here, and I can be like, yeah, no, I'm kidding. But of course, the big difference maker is still the sunshine. So we're still getting lots of sunshine, and it stays light till like 5:30 now.
Oh, nice.
Maybe a tad longer. So that's been sweet, and having Flagstaff right there is obviously a huge thing, and just being able to do like I ventured out and did a couple other different like flatter rides in the past week.
I'm excited to be speaking to a genuine digital nomad. You're one of those. You're so cutting edge, Danny.
Yeah, I can see on your screen there. You're still sharing your screen. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, but
yeah,
I can see your digital nomad videos there. You checking it out?
Yeah, I was looking up something. I'm like, something. I was hoping to see something funny.
I like that one says F your 9 to 5.
Oh, let's see what that guy has to say. Hold on. Let's see.
All right, so I am back out here in Santa Monica, California.
Oh, you're not
as
in
you guys
Santa
can
Monica.
see.
Hold on.
I'm out here on the beach, just enjoying the vibes.
So that's what this
Weather's
is.
beautiful. The sun is back out. I hope you guys can hear me. It's windy. This video is going up regardless because you guys are going to get this knowledge.
I don't know. I'm going to stop right now.
He's got 2,000 views. He's doing something.
Yeah.
Good for him. It's funny. My friend talked about being a digital nomad like almost 10 years ago. And he never really pulled the trigger, but his fantasy was to go to like Southeast Asia and like just bring his laptop and like a backpack and do this like super minimalist like adventure and just have everything on him and just a small backpack and just good pair of shoes and a couple bucks, and
yeah,
he wanted to go do that. He never really did it. He ended up in a PhD program, which is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dave, if you're listening, shout out. Anyway, so the weather has been the story, but making do. And I think hopefully there'll be some nicer, warmer weather. I don't know if that's true. I'm just guessing, eternal optimism. So when I get back from New York, I'm going to New York tomorrow morning for like a 5-day work trip. My old stomping grounds where I used to live. But when I get back, hopefully, I'll be itching to ride. So hopefully there'll be some warmer weather. And by warmer, I'm just fingers crossed for like above 30.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it is.
Yeah, I think it'll probably come back around. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it can change pretty quickly there. So as easy as it gets bad, I'm sure it gets good. You'll get those 30,
hopefully
40 days.
It's been weird, and just as I'm trying to like get back into riding more and all that kind of stuff and get some semblance of fitness. It's just funny, the whole winter riding thing, because I've pretty much always done winter riding. It's never really fazed me.
Mm-hmm.
And, I remember my coach, when I had a coach back in the day, being like, oh, you probably don't need to do these outside. Just do them in your trainer. I'm like, I'm going outside. So I'd be like in Central Park doing like intervals, and like, he said, careful on your lungs. You could frost them up. Cause sometimes it'd be like really cold.
Yeah.
But I always liked riding, and it's just been like this, I don't know, coming back to type thing where I'm like, you get all, get all covered up. I got the nice winter gear now, got the fenders and all that. And I'm just like, just embracing it and like going out. It's kind of cool.
Well, winter clothing is so much better these days.
What? It's super nice.
Yeah. I mean, like compared to when we were riding, and there was some good stuff. I mean, there was Pearl Izumi.
Right.
I worked at a shop that had nice stuff, up to date winter riding gear, but nothing compared to the stuff that they have now. The materials and all that stuff these days is
Gore-Tex, neoprene, just all this crazy shit.
Yeah, it's lightweight. It's not big and bulky. It's still pretty thin, and it keeps you warm. Shoes are better these days. I haven't sold a set of booties at the bike shop for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like people just buy shoes now. Insulated, good insulated cycling shoes these days. So. Yeah. Yeah,
it's been so I'm not paid for, sponsored by Castelli. I don't have any relationship with them, although I know someone who does work there. I think he's still there. I just happen to go on there. You know what? The GCN guys, I watch a ton of their videos, and they're sponsored by Castelli.
Mm-hmm.
So they're always wearing Castelli kit and stuff. And they had one that was like about winter riding. It just like autoplay. And I was like, oh. So I just went on the site, and sure enough. So I guess shout out to CNN for spreading the love on Castelli. I've had Castelli. I had the GABA jacket, which was like a very big hit sensation kind of jacket back in the day, and that I accidentally donated, which was that was a little bit painful. I didn't pay for it. I got it as like a basically as a long-term wear garb, and then they had me just keep it. So I was like, okay. But the GABA jacket was kind of famous because they were like super sweet and all the pros wore them and stuff. But they're very expensive. But when I was moving from New York to Chicago, I put together like 4 or 5 bags, just like garbage bags of clothing that I was going to donate.
Mm-hmm.
One bag I marked to put in the truck to move it home, and the other 4. So as you can imagine, they got mixed up. So I ended up donating all of these bags, pretty decent clothes, whatever, to the Salvation Army or the secondhand shop. But accidentally,
the jacket went.
It still hurt. Well, that was in it, but then I also had like just a regular jacket that I got from J Crew, which I don't really shop at, but it's like this amazing jacket I found on sale that fit perfect, and I was like, oh. And then I had a couple nice old jerseys.
Gee, Danny.
Which, thank God they weren't my racing ones, but they're anyway. That was just a dumb thing, but anyway, getting out now, and like it's kind of like a little, it's a little kind of ritual. You kind of get all dressed up, but the clothing is much nicer. I got this Castelli jacket. Couldn't tell you the name of it off the top of my head, but like you said, they're kind of like Aero, like they're really they're tight fitting but comfortable, and they're so warm. And this one's like waterproof or water repellent or some version of that. And then the gloves are really good. And then the shoe covers, I didn't feel anything like there was just toasty. So it's much nicer. It's not the cheapest. And then there was like a promo code if you sign up for their email. And so it's definitely not like
outrageous.
It's not outrageous. Like, it's affordable. Like the thing is, that stuff is so high quality. That stuff will last me 10 years.
Yeah, easily. Good kit. I mean, it's an investment, but if you take care of it, it lasts you for a long, long time. And if you maintain your weight and your, that's the chance.
That's the big asterisk.
That's the big one. It's like just staying in shape to
suck it in, boy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you'll be glad to know that when you get to New York, you'll be in the 40s. You might want to take your kit with you. And
I saw that.
You can rent one of those city bikes and do intervals in, like, be the most well-dressed guy in on a
Fredtastic.
On a bike. Yeah. Maybe you probably make a magazine or a blog.
Who's this dude? Look at this guy's bike. I've ridden with city bikes a lot, especially having lived there and all that. But well, now I'm excited to go back. So I've been back in a handful of years. But in Chicago with the divvy bikes, so many of them, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I read or heard that most of them are going to eventually all be e-bikes.
Huh.
Which, I'm not super happy about. Like, I like the mix because sometimes I do just want to pedal, and a lot of times I will opt for the pedal.
Yeah.
The regular pedal ones. Obviously they're slower, but you get kind of a workout and you feel good. Whereas the e-bikes now, especially those newer ones, those like gray ones, have you seen those? Like, they're pretty fast and like you don't really have to pedal hard. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, I don't know why they don't keep a mix of them. I guess it's easier just to service one bike versus two different kinds.
Like, I get it from a business model, and they have to be really strategic to keep that thing going because I think those are pretty tough. But anyway, looking forward to it. I'll probably leave the kit at home. I'll just bring some running shoes type thing. But what have you been up to, man?
Just keeping the shop running, man. It's things are actually starting to pick up a little bit at the shop. I'm having to do some mechanics work and mechanical work, and people bringing in their tune-ups, their big tune-ups, suspension work and fork overhauls and things like that. So
good stuff.
Yeah, actual bike shop stuff, and getting ready for this big bike show and
Cabda.
The Cabda
When's
bike
that?
show. The 7th and 8th or
cool.
8th or 9th. It's, I don't know, about a week from now or so, and so that's kind of exciting. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, that'll be catching up with a lot of people, and so doing inventory and things like that, because I want to get some work accomplished at the bike show. Like, I want to go there and, I'm looking to place some orders and, basically start stocking the store and getting it ready for the season, because that's coming. The weeks are flying by. We get we'll get that first 60-degree day, and the shop will fill up with early tune-ups for sure. So I mean, it's inevitable. The season's right around the corner. What else is going on? Cleaning and painting, and just trying to get stuff done at the shop. So
did you do, like, a big paint job?
I am in the process of doing that stuff right now. Yeah. I'm not, I'm prepping to do paint. That'll be the last thing, but shelving, and actually going to go to a welding shop in the next week or so. I do a little bit of welding. So there's a couple of fixtures I want to put together, and
man,
see if I have time to tackle a display case that I'd like to, like a custom display case that I'd like to put in the shop. So we'll see. Those things take a little time to do, but I'd like to do it. It's part art project as well. So just something.
Yeah, man.
Take a little time and do it right.
Metallurgy. What do they call that?
Yeah, I'm fabrication, Danny.
Yeah, independent fabrication.
Yeah, I'm fabricating. So
remember that bike brand, Independent Fabrication?
Yeah, Indie Fab. They're still. I believe they're still around.
They were the shit, man. I remember there was a period where, like, that was the bike everyone was lusting over, like in cyclocross and stuff, like Indie Fab. Yeah, I'd see them at, like, the NABS bike show and stuff. They were sweet, but a little out of my price range.
Yeah, beautiful bicycles. I think Indie Fab was Fat Chance bikes.
Oh,
I believe. I believe that was, like, I think a team of people went over from Fat Chance and started Indie Fab, if I have my cycling history right. But
so Joe, important question. Are you going to be wearing that mask, the welder's mask, like in the horror movies?
Yeah. Actually,
cool, man. You got to get some pictures for the gram.
Yeah, actually, I think, Danny, if we ever make any kind of appearances or anything, I think that, I have been trying to figure out what our personas are going to be. Our online personas. Because we are a society, and,
That's right.
We're supposed to, I don't know. I think as a society, we should be wearing masks or have some sort of, somehow hide our true identities.
Oh, interesting.
So
is this like a deeper psychological thing you got going on, or what?
I don't know. Like eyes wide shut, like something like that.
Oh boy. I'm thinking of a certain scene. I'm not sure which one you're thinking.
Well, just, but like any of those famous societies, they've always had, secret societies. It's an opportunity to wear a cape, a mask, smoke a cigarette with one of those long things, those. With those, I don't know what they, a cigarette holder, I guess.
Yeah.
Something like that. It seems right. I think we're made for that kind of stuff, Danny.
I don't know, man. I think you might have cabin fever. Sitting there in your cabin.
Too much time to think. My wife was out of town. That's all. I got.
Yeah, man. You had a lot of time to think.
Too much.
Too many Zwift rides, maybe.
Yeah. That'll do it to you. Indoor riding. Yeah.
I just had a thought.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you're ever in prison, would you be allowed to ride Zwift in your cell? I don't know why. Don't ask me why I thought that.
Maybe if you were in there for one of those financial, like one of those soft prisons,
white collar crime.
Yeah, it'd probably have to be one of those, and maybe you would get an exemption for Zwift. I mean,
oh my god.
Yeah,
I think it's because I recently saw Cape Fear, the sequel with Robert De Niro, and they show him in the prison, and he's doing his crunches and his workout, and he's got like a stack of books. It's actually one of my favorite movies. So good with Nick Nolte. You ever seen it?
A long time ago.
Yeah. So there's two. There's the original, which I forget who's in that, from the black and white era, but then the De Niro one is the more modern one, and oh my god, it's so good. If you like a good thriller.
Yeah, there's I don't know. There was at some point I tried that, like the prison workout.
It sounds so hardcore.
Well,
tried prison workout.
Well, it's like something that you can do in a 10 by 10 foot space. It's all
right.
It was all just
burpees.
It's just exercises you can do in a small space. And I thought, wow, that's very contained. That sounds like you don't need a lot of things. It just push-ups and sit-ups, and those guys are always ripped in the movies, right?
They're shredded.
Yeah, they're completely
5% body fat, like riders, but muscular.
Yeah. Obviously, I wasn't very successful when I did it. Otherwise, I don't look the part. But yeah, I mean, there is a thing. I believe there are books and things written about that. With that about the prison workout.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So just been going along and working, and I got this work thing coming up, so I'm going to do that. It's going to get in the way of my riding, Joe, but you have to keep the work in balance. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I did dry January, so that was good. Felt like got much better sleep. I felt my riding was even better. What else has been going on? Oh, caught some of the football games yesterday with some friends. We were playing pool. And
nice.
Doing all the NFL stuff.
I like when you do NFL stuff, Danny. I like when you do traditional good old American football.
It makes you think I'm still somewhat normal.
Well, I think I like to see the balance, Danny. I like to see the balance. I mean, it's. Had you told me you were watching luge,
athletic cycling, or what's the cycling where they're like. Yeah, they're kind of.
The women are on the handlebars and going backwards and stuff like that.
Yes,
artistic
cycling. Thank you.
Yeah,
it was fun. So I don't really follow NFL, shock, but it was fun, and just kind of getting set for
this is
getting set for February. It's a good month.
This is the time to follow football. Like, I mean, if you're not like a traditional football fan, like right around now, the playoffs is a good time to jump in, because you don't want to be completely left out of all of that stuff. It's just such a big, cultural thing in this country.
Mhm.
You know, it's a good thing to be a part of. I think.
I've always pretty much watched at least some playoff football. I think playoff football is generally like amazing. It's like so many good games. So looking forward to the bowl, but half of me is just watching for the commercials and just gathering with friends and eating good food and stuff like that.
The cultural aspect of it, I think that's a that's a good thing.
Yeah. By the way, the World Cycling Championships is Sunday. Excuse me.
Cyclocross.
Cyclocross.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cyclocross.
So
yeah.
They are on Sunday. And in the past, I think they're coming up this Sunday. And in the past, they've been on the same day as the Super Bowl. But I know we have 2 weeks until the bowl. But let me just see. Let me see. World Championship Cyclocross. I just want to make sure I have this right. I believe it's next week. So Matthew Van Der Poel won Besançon, the final World Cup. And so February 3rd, February 5th. So this coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll have the World Cyclocross Championships in Hoogerheide in which is in the Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken. It's been there a lot. So I'm pretty psyched for that. Last time was over here in the US. So that year passed really fast. Holy cow.
Wow, that is really fast.
Isn't it?
That was wow. Yeah, the
nuts.
The girls from the shop went down to that race. Wow, that was a year ago already. Wow.
Telling you, man. Telling you.
My gosh.
Total craziness. So Matthew Van Der Poel and Wout van Aert, I think, will be the heavy favorites. And Tom Pidcock is not going to race and defend his jersey, which I'm a little bummed about, but I also understand.
Was he just prepping for the road season at this point?
I think so. Yeah. I didn't read the reason, his rationale, but I know Sven Nys gave it a thumbs up. Like, that makes sense. Why you not racing? So, but you always like to see the jersey there. Not that they get to wear it on race day, but you like to see them defend. But I get it, but it would have been cool because, you couldn't help think when he won last year, he just dominated the field. He went off solo early and just stayed away. It was like a race for second. Yeah. But you can't help wonder, like, hey man, Wout van Aert and Matthew Van Der Poel are there. It's like they're they dominate, but you're the world champ. And, if they were there, what would have happened? Now you have this chance here. So whatever. I'm not questioning his decision. I get it. He seems like a very smart, honorable kind of guy. But you just, the fan in you is kind of like, you'd love that trio just battling it out. Because, the Matthew Van Der Poel and Wout thing is always good. I'm not going to say it gets boring, but it would have been cool to have that other dynamic, like have someone who could really challenge them. And maybe if they're watching each other, he can get away. I don't know. You just wonder about these scenarios. So anyway, that's coming up this weekend. And I think I'll be traveling that Sunday back to Colorado. So I have to see if I can watch it, or at least hide the social media results until I get home and watch it. But other than that, we had the tour down under, Joe.
Hold on, Danny. Hold on.
I slipped into it. Sorry. I just realized I was doing it as I was saying.
It's okay. I believe it qualifies. I think this is. I don't want to miss out on this stuff. So
I wasn't even trying to do that, but so tour down under ended, and your buddy Joe, who we talked about with Kate, Jay Vine, he won.
Yeah, how about that, man?
Tour down under, which I think is, that's a pretty baller race to win. I mean, who was second? I'm just drawing a blank. Was that Simon Yates? So there were, and then I think Peo Bilbao, Spaniard there. He had a stage win. I watched, I think I watched like 3 of the stages, and it was good.
I mean, this is like their season right now. This is their prime, like middle of the summer for them, right? Or end of the summer. So, I mean, they've been, those guys are in good shape right now. This is like a prime time event, not a preseason event for those guys.
Exactly.
So,
because they always, this time of year, they always hold their their national championship. So the time trial, crit, road race, all that. And then they have the Cadell Evans race.
There's a Cadell Evans race?
Yeah, when he retired, he knew what he was doing and make some more bank. So he's got the official Cadell. It's a pretty good race, actually. It's not just some BS race.
Wow.
Let me see. Cadell Evans race. I've never heard of this guy. Marius Mayhofer, Team DSM, and Hugo Page, probably Hugo Page, took second, and then Simon Clark, who I really like, was third. Anyway, point is, like, a ton of races down there at this time of year, and also very hot. You remember they had the World Championships there at the end of last road season, and Matthew Vanderpool had that big dust up, landed himself in jail for a couple hours. He has been cleared of that since, or the judge tossed it out, I should say. So anyway, but yeah, Jay Vine won that Tour Down Under in pretty dominant fashion. That was pretty cool. Yeah, well, so
it's good to see his his trajectory. I mean, he seems to be building.
Yep.
And taking advantage of the opportunity. Fantastic.
Totally. Yeah. So his next big thing is the Giro. So, but yeah, you remember he was the guy who won the Swift. What was it? The Swift.
Not the Tour de Zwift. It was like the challenge, some pro challenge or something, right?
Something Zwift Academy.
Zwift Academy. That's what it was.
Yeah, and we're just saying that he had pretty stellar results even without that, but everyone latched onto that, which whatever.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know what? I've heard with his win here. I heard it started the conversation about him and Zwift Academy again, and it's amazing how many people just think that dude just was some guy riding Zwift in his basement. Like they don't bother to go and like figure, like learn a little bit about him, and realize that guy was racing at a really high level in back home before he made the jump to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Oh, well.
So guess what? Guess what he won, Joe, for winning the Tour Down Under. One of, I think, many prizes, but
koala, kangaroo, little baby roo.
Apparently, he won a car.
Really?
And I think
with the wheel on the wrong side, right? I mean, they drive on the wrong side of the road there, don't they?
I don't know what side they drive on in Australia, to be honest. Jay Vine keeps going faster in bike races, and his car collection keeps growing as well. The 27-year-old Aussie roared to victory Sunday at the Sentinel Tour Down Under in dominant fashion. Not listed on the winner's prizes. Prize list is what he plans to give himself, a new Bentley. Oh, okay.
Bentley?
My dad has a 7-bay shed. I have a Mini Cooper up there and a VW Beetle from the 60s and 2 other H-model Holdens. I don't know what Holdens are.
No.
Cars run in my family, unquote. His family hails from Queensland, blah, blah, blah. Last year, after winning 2 stages of the Vuelta, his wife promised to buy him a Corvette following his first stage race victory. He's expecting even more. Hopefully I can add a couple of cars. There's a C3 Corvette in the big block with a big block 427 cubic inch, blah, blah, blah. But he kind of is hinting at a Bentley as well. I don't know. So it sounds like he didn't win it from the race, but he's going to kind of like win it,
bike racers
from his own pocket.
Bike racers love love the Corvettes.
Yes.
You know who has a Corvette? I was never in it, but I did see it. Christian Vandeveld.
Oh yeah,
he had a Corvette.
He seemed like a Corvette guy.
Yeah. Well, he's all American boy.
All American boy, but like very south
side Euro.
Chicago. Because that's like, if you're a south side boy, like that's your Lamborghini,
Corvette.
That's your Ferrari.
Nice.
Corvette. I want the T-tops, full surround system.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of another car guy, one of our favorite car guy, retiring, or at least retiring from the roadside.
Who dis?
Peter Sagan.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, he's going to do this year,
right?
And then retire. Yeah, he's going to race this full season. Then he's going to switch to mountain bike.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he wants to do the Olympics. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I believe that's like his goal. Like he's going to retire from the road.
Because that was his first love was mountain biking, and that's where he first kicked ass. He also raced cyclocross and then got into road later. But you're 100% right. That's actually probably should be our lead news item. Peter Sagan finally. I shouldn't say finally. He announces he's retiring. He's only like 33. I mean, he's not like old for cycling yet.
No, but yeah, we've been kind of tracking his story a little bit, since the time we started the show, and I think we mentioned how he looked a little bored the last time we saw him in the Tour. Like he was finishing in in the bus, in the back of the peloton, just kind of coming along,
mountain stages.
Yeah, and he just didn't look very happy. He wasn't popping those wheelies. He wasn't riding wheelies or having fun anymore. He just looked like he was. He really had to look like he was over it. Like, okay, this is like he had been thinking about this. It made sense when I heard that he was going to retire because it looked like a little bit of that spark was gone from his eye. So hopefully he'll find it again in mountain biking.
I think you're partially right. The thing that people do forget, though, I mean, he has been kicking ass, and he hasn't won stages recently, but even in the past couple of tours, like he's been up there. He's been like podium finishes, like second, third, fourth, fifth on like sprint stages that the super fast guys are. So he's in that kind of second tier.
Yeah.
But he's still like going after it, and he seems pretty happy. But I do admit, like overall, probably he said his motivation is fine. He's like, my motivation is great. I like to win.
Do your Peter Sagan. Come on, people. Our fans love.
Well, see, now I'm under pressure. See, I can't do it like that. It's got to be au naturel. Come on, guys. Come on. Win the stage. Why so serious? Look at my tattoo. Have a beer. You
gotta work on that,
Why
Danny.
so serious?
People love your Peter Sagan.
Why so serious? Why so serious? Oh, come on, guys. I win the race. I buy the cars. So apologies. So anyway, he's had a killer career. Obviously, he's done amazing things. He's won classics, and he has won countless stages, green jerseys, blah blah blah. But he won the World Championships of road racing 3 years running, which is probably an insane thing that will never be broken again.
Was it really 3 years in a row he won?
Yeah, man.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw the first one in person.
Yeah. Wow.
In Richmond, Virginia, and then he won in like the Middle East when it was like Qatar or some weird World Championships. It was pancake flat. It was like on a race car course. It was like such drudgery, but it was a cool win. He still won in a big sprint, and then he won in so it was in Norway, forgetting the town, but he won in Norway, and that was a crazy one that he pulled off because what's his name, the local boy. I'm forgetting names, Joe. It's a sign of old age. Who's the big Norwegian guy who I really love, actually? Norwegian sprinter.
Thor Hushovd. Was it Thor Hushovd?
He's going back a little bit. Alexander Kristoff. So he was the hot super favorite, and he took second. So that was devastating for him. But that was also when the TV cameras all went blank in the very last miles, and so no one knew what was happening in the race until the very, very end. And then at the last second, you saw the camera on the straightaway finish, and then you just see the bunch coming. So that was like such a weird one, but it had like pretty good climbing in it too. So he was just doing what Peter does better than anyone on planet Earth. He's got the invisibility cloak, and he sits in the middle of the pack, and he hides and he hides and he hides, and you won't see him for 6.5 hours. And he doesn't waste any extra energy. And then at the last mile, boom, there's Peter Sagan attacking or winning a sprint.
I think we have our answer right there. A guy who's won that much, in his history and has seen the top of the mountain. Mm-hmm. I think at this point, like finishing second or third in a bunch sprint is probably not cutting it for him. And and he's probably looking for something new to conquer, and I hope, I hope mountain biking's it. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the gravel world, like doing some of that stuff, or maybe some of that ultra endurance stuff, and going out there and having some fun. I hope he does. I'm not ready to see him go away.
I'm not either. I agree. And, he's 30, he just turned 33 a couple of days ago. So he's fresh 33. I think it feels like he's doing it right. Like he's not going to hang on too long and be some like cranky old road dude.
Yeah.
He's still kicking ass. He's still up there in the bunch sprints with Wout van Aert and all these fast sprinters. So he's still kicking ass, and he's still putting on a show, doing his wheelies, for the fans. And he still seems like really loving it. So this will be a great last year. And I think we could just kind of sit back and enjoy it and just see what he's doing. And I think it would be amazing if he pulled off like just some crazy like classic win, it would be like pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
But I'd love to see him win like one of the classics or even a semi-classic, you know?
Oh, wouldn't that be? I mean, that would be a good way to go out. I just retire right there. You know.
See ya.
I'd
Where's
be like,
my car?
I'm out. That's where's.
Hey guys, where's the serious? I have to go. I go now. Bye. Where are the beers? Where are the parties?
I just hope, you know what I hope he doesn't do? I hope he doesn't do MMA.
Oh
you
God.
Know, oh God. I like please don't do any of it. You know, he seems just crazy enough where like, oh please don't jump in the ring.
Why
like,
is so serious? So that's what Peter is up to. But yeah, three world. I don't know if I can't remember offhand if that's a record or not, but I don't see that being broken anytime in my lifetime, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
One of the best riders. I always love the little Google questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just I'm just such a sucker for those. So I was just looking, you know, at those like automated or questions they put. People also ask, why is Peter Sagan struggling? Is Peter Sagan the greatest cyclist? Why is Peter Sagan so popular? Anyway, the list goes on. So
yeah, I don't think he's going. I mean, I don't see him. You know, I hope he doesn't disappear. You know, I
don't think he will.
Yeah, I think he's somebody can use him if they use him right. You know, it'd be nice to see him stick around. So, and
you know, I don't want to sound like a douche, but one of my favorite photos of all time was having a beer with Peter Sagan.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah.
I was at the Tour de France with EF Education as an inside reporter, fly on the wall, and it was a rest day, and you know, the team was, you know, with their families hanging out, and we had done like some press in the morning, so it was kind of like a afternoon to kind of do your own thing. I didn't have any deadlines, and so I walked from my hotel quarter mile or so into this, I forget what little town we were in. We're in a small French town, but really pretty, and there was an Irish pub, and I normally avoid Irish pubs, but I'm like, oh, Guinness would be really good right now. So I go in there and I order Guinness, and next thing I know, Daniel Oss, whose hair you know from like a mile away, his huge fro. He walks in with Peter Sagan behind him.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh my God, there's Peter Sagan. Be cool. He comes in, wow, so serious. No, he came in and I was sitting at the bar talking to the bartender who was actually from the States, and Peter walks up and I'm like, Peter, hi. And he's like, oh, hi, how are you? Super nice. Just shared a few words. I spoke a little Czech to him because he's Slovakian, so they used to be the same country and same language, although they've diverged quite a bit since then. But yeah, we made just some fun small talk, and he was hanging out with Daniel Oss, but they, Joe, were hanging out with two young ladies over in the corner table. And
there you go.
They were very attractive young ladies, I will say. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll give you your privacy, but can I just get a photo? And we had a little photo, and I'll cherish that for a long time.
This was a rest day at the tour, is that right?
This was a rest day.
Really?
Swear to God. It reminded me of the Greg LeMond era, you know?
Oh, that's awesome. That's old school right there.
Dude, that is old school.
That is, you know, a couple of groupies, you know, probably went down there and into the parking lot. You know, that's where they go, and that's where they go and, you know, snatch them up. That's usually where they hang. And
yeah.
Oh, wow, man. Cool.
True story. And you know, Daniel Oss has been his bro forever. So he's taken him every team he's gone to, every team transfer.
Sure.
So Daniel Oss will go with him, and he's a kick-ass rider in his own right.
That's his goose. That's his goose.
That's his goose.
That's his wingman right there. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. And no, that, you know, I looked over and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So good for you guys. And yeah, it was fun. So he was really cool, very humble, and just snapped a couple photos, and it was really cool. So
that's a heartwarming story.
Nice little souvenir. But yeah, it was pretty old school, right? Like he wasn't at home like with his feet up, you know, drinking like a protein shake.
Yeah, have those big things around his legs, those compression things, you know, around his legs.
Those what they call moon pants or something.
He's like, screw that, and going down to the bar, have a Guinness.
Why I'm so serious? Why the funny pants? Are you going to the moon?
Oh, good for him. Good for him.
Yeah. So so that was cool. So I don't know how long they were there. I left before they did, but they did their thing. But that was cool. But yeah, we got him for one more year, so I'm pretty stoked. Mm-hmm. He's so fun. I mean, his I did hear, this is kind of a random thing, but I was watching an EF Education training video. I don't know if you knew, Joe, but EF Education, the cycling team, they launched a program where it's a teaching business. So they do teaching or training business. Mm-hmm. So if you want to get a cycling coach and get into a cycling training program, you can go to EF Education's site for that. And they lay it out there. It's not very cheap, but you're basically taught, with their wealth of knowledge, and they have like current or former pros teaching. And a lot of these people are, seasoned, trainers and coaches as well. Mm. So anyway, they have some videos for that. So Jonathan Botters was talking about all this different stuff. But just because we're talking about Sagan, he did mention one little kind of anecdote. And he's like, yeah, if you look at, Peter Sagan, like, he's probably not, in terms of his like maybe physiology, or was he talking about his VO2 max or something? But he's probably like fairly average. He's not some like insane, like genetic, phenome. Like, it's how he like rides his bike. He can save so much energy when 9 guys in the peloton need to use their brakes. He doesn't need to. And he can conserve and conserve and conserve and conserve. And he's just, part of it is his bike handling skills, like just in the pack. Like, he just can ride so well without having to pedal through turns, whatever it is. When everyone else is sprinting out of a turn, he's already up there. And just all these examples, I just thought it was like an interesting moment of insight.
That's old school in a way, that, because I guess when I think about it, he is kind of a throwback that way, because when he was winning and when he came into the sport, it wasn't so power based and number based as it is now. It wasn't that, the people were still attacking and blowing up, and it was a little bit more of the free for all that we loved, back in the day. And now that he's the older guy, it's kind of funny to see these guys that were kids to us at one point now retiring, and this another generation. It just means we're getting older, Danny.
Totally,
really
dude.
old.
Totally. Well, that's a little serious. So, but that it's a really good bit of insight. Obviously, he's talented, and he's in great physical fitness, great shape, and everything. But in terms of like the elite riders, he's not necessarily this like rare specimen. It's just he makes up for it by being this insane bike handler.
Sure. Yeah.
Super efficient, and he's so good at hiding. He just sits and he hides perfectly, and he'll never like see the wind. And I'm not going to say that's how he won his world championships, but that had a large, and fair play to him, that was like large part like why he did win those races. Like, if you go back, I've gone back and I've watched the full replay, because I was actually at the world championships in Richmond. But if you watch it, and I never saw him like the whole day. I was there, like, speeding pack was, I saw him like a couple times, but you really had to pick him out. Like, he thank God he had a couple really good teammates protecting him. A very small team, Slovakia, compared to like Belgium and the Netherlands and stuff. But you go back and you watch the footage, like it's hard to find where he is. You find the Slovakia kit and you're looking okay, but it's hard to find him. And then and obviously there's a great reason for that. So then at the end, he comes in, he puts up that blistering attack, and that's what won him the race. He went home solo. But that whole time he's just sitting there. Hour 4, hour 5, hour 6. Yeah, we're going on hour 7, and then boom, he comes out of nowhere.
You forget that he's going against the Italian team, the French team. Like powerhouse is the Belgian team, and he's got the the Slovakian team, which I don't.
There's like 3 or 4 riders, including his brother, who's like, like an average rider.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who's the second best Slovakian rider? I don't know. I could name the team. But I can name 4 of the French guys, or
right.
You can name off. You can probably name the entire Belgian team, but what's the Slovakian team made up? made up of? Wow.
Oh, the Velets brothers, Peter Velets and Martin Velets. I don't know if you remember them, but they were like the tall, lanky climbers.
Mm-hmm.
They were on like all kinds of top teams. So those were two. They're not racing now, but but yeah. So there's. I'll think of the other guy in a minute, but his resume is like crazy. But you know what's cool? He always said like, you know, he attacked and like he got caught. And he ended up like still sprinting for like second or third, which like is an insane accomplishment in and of itself. And you know, they'd have the post interviews like, Peter, you must be so devastated. He's like, why? I had good time, good show.
Yeah.
Fans, everybody happy, nice day. Like, you know, he always said it wasn't about the results, it was about the show and having fun, which again sounds really corny, but part of me really thinks he meant it, because if you watch the way he raced, he was
a showman. He was like,
he didn't seem to be that interested in his like career palmares. Like he didn't seem to be like, oh, gee, I have to have this one and this one. He's like, oh, you know, I won this one. Cool. I didn't win that one. I don't know. That's how I read it.
Well, he was the first guy to start. Like now, everybody's doing wheelies and stuff, but he was the first guy that I remember doing wheelies like that, and going uphill. You know, I don't think that was a thing until he started doing that.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, he's kind of responsible for all of these guys now that, you see a lot of it. Now it's just like a thing, now it's like this parade at the back of the peloton going up the mountains at the Tour de France. But he was like the first one to kind of have a little fun with it that way.
Yep.
At least the first one that really, that got that kind of attention. So, wow. Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, good. We can talk about Peter all day. He's such an amazing rider, and
yeah. Well, he's not dead, Danny. He's not. Here's to him, like having some more fun, and let's see what the next years are going to bring in his career. I hope to see him happy again and excited, and kind of find that twinkle in his eye, because like I said, I did notice that the photos and just the coverage, he didn't seem like the same guy, is playful and right. funny as he'd been in the past, and whatever it is that he's missing, I hope he finds it.
I think he'll go down as one of the greatest cyclists of all time. I don't think anyone's going to put him at the number one spot necessarily, but if you look at how versatile he was, I mean, if you dig back into his his palmares, his race results, like. He won the like junior cyclocross world championship. I mean, tons of great cross results as a kid, and then all these mountain bike results. But, beyond all of that, like, not to speak of his road stuff and his coming mountain bike stuff, but he really did, like, he really embraced like all the sponsorship stuff, remember he did all those like funny, he did the, Grease video. Remember Olivia Newton-John, his wife, who's now he's divorced from. But he was doing all those funny videos. Yeah. It really embraced the muscle cars. I mean, he's very old school, like you said. Like he really embraced like all of that, and just like kind of like was like, like Why So Serious is like the most perfect tattoo for him, even though it's cheesy as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I name a showman right now in the peloton that's as big as him, or anybody it's got that kind of a personality right now. The sport is lacking a little bit of personality that way. And
totally, are you kidding? Like, look at look at our guy. Can't even forget his name. That's how boring he was. A lovely guy, I'm sure, but the guy who won the Tour de France.
Vingegaard.
Yeah, Vingegaard. Look how, I mean, he's so boring. No offense. He has nothing to say. He doesn't do anything. He just rides his bike extremely well.
Yeah.
And
Chris Froome, not exactly a not exactly a boom guy. Even Wout van Aert. I mean, as good as he is, like I don't, like outside of cycling, I don't know. I don't really know much about him, or I mean, all these guys they're extremely good cyclists. Probably better than these personalities that we're talking about. But at the end of the day, it's also entertainment, and so these guys are. I think the sport is lacking a little bit. I mean, Alaphilippe, maybe the big, like currently, right? I mean,
personality,
I mean, he's kind of a personality, but put a top 5 together is hard. So
yeah. Can you imagine how infuriating it was for those like Italian team bosses,
Oh,
the
yeah.
French, Dutch, Belgian.
Yeah.
They got this little fucking team. Just beat them.
Oh, it's one guy. One guy.
It's just and then 3 in a row. You're just about to be pulling your hair out. I mean, I think the one in Norway with what's his name losing that one.
And
brutal.
And being a marked guy too. Because I mean, it's like that's at his height, so everybody knew. It's like the guy's got a bullseye on his jersey, and he's still got like he was still able to do it. It's just that's kind of mind-boggling when you think about it. So
just a quick other couple news things, real quick. There is an article on bicycling.com called "Gravel Racing Gets a Binge-Worthy Reality Show." So it's called "The Call of a Lifetime."
Really. And
they're saying could be cycling's drive to survive. That's the F1 thing. If you've seen that,
okay.
So I've seen some of those episodes for the F1. It's super good if you haven't seen it. If you're into that, I'm not even a big F1 fan, but that was so well done, and it's free. So it's called "Call of a Lifetime," and it's
this revolves all around the world
gravel racing. Gravel racing. So I'm gonna check it out. It's on YouTube. It's like a series. There's like 6. And they have the official trailer, and they have all the episodes. Looks like they're about 27 to 30 minutes long each.
Okay.
So I'm going to check those out. So it looks kind of cool if you're into gravel, and you can maybe even trick your family into watching it with you. Be like, oh, let's watch the show.
Well, little Mandy, sit down with Papa.
In other news, Conor McGregor was hit by a car. I would say hit by a driver. Was hit by a car at full speed while cycling. So thank you, God. It wasn't my time. Conor McGregor has been hit by a car whilst out cycling on his bike. Sharing a picture of his bike in the aftermath, the MMA fighter wrote on Instagram, "Got a bang of a car just now from behind. A sun trap. The driver could..." Oh, I like that term, sun trap, for when the sun's low. "The driver couldn't see me. Pulled straight through me. Thank God it wasn't my time."
Probably.
Thank you, wrestling and judo. Also, having an awareness of the landing saved my life. In the video that was posted on his Instagram page, McGregor captures the aftermath of the accident.
Wow.
Who appeared to be in the car can be heard apologizing to McGregor.
Before he pummeled him. Before he pummeled the driver to the ground.
Pile driver. McGregor then says, "All good, mate. All good. Don't worry about it." He said, "I could have been dead, but told the man, all good. I'm totally sorry." Wow. Totally sorry. Seriously, the other man says, and that's the end of the story.
Gee.
Well, there you go. Even the big stars can get plowed.
That happens a lot, right? Simon Cowell had
on his e-bike.
You know what? We'll do that. I think that should be a thing we track, Danny.
We'll have to handle that one delicately. It could be taken the wrong way.
We will be delicate about it.
There's an article called "Is Cycling Safe?" and it's at the Harvard Gazette, which caught my attention. So from Harvard University. We shouldn't take no for an answer, researchers say, wondering, blah, blah, blah. If we are talking about cycling in general, which would apply to all positions, I heard that. Is cycling safe? The answer, cycling is not safe. Bicyclists face risks posed by exposure to air pollution, unannounced e-bike riders passing fast, and car doors. The greatest safety risk is not pollution, a passenger bike, or even that car door. It's moving vehicles. Shocker. Anyway, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but if folks want to go read that, it's interesting because it comes from Harvard, so you expect it to be like fully verified and legit. I haven't read it, so I don't know. We're going to check it out.
It better be good, Danny. It's coming from Harvard,
and it's coming from the Bike Shop Society podcast news roundup. Which thank you very much for hanging out with us.
I'm going to close the newsroom. Hold on.
Close the newsroom. Close it up.
There you go. There you go.
So that's it. But I'm heading off to New York for 4 or 5 nights. I'll be away from my bike, but maybe I'll take a couple of Divvy bike rides while I'm there. Or not Divvy, they call them City Bikes. I believe City Bike is still a sponsor.
Yeah, City like the bank, right? Citibank?
Like the bank. Mm-hmm. My old bank. So looking forward to that. And, it's so crazy to say it, but it's actually going to be warmer weather in New York City. And I thought I saw a headline today because I haven't been keeping up, but apparently New York hasn't had any snow this year.
Really?
which is insane.
Not the city itself. The state has had plenty, but
Right,
New York City
right.
hasn't gotten anything, huh?
Correct.
Wow.
So New York City breaks 50-year record of longest winter without snow.
Wow.
The headline says everything. So the idea of New York in wintertime conjures up images of Manhattan's Times Square and Central Park shrouded in snow. Not this year.
No,
so
maybe you'll bring it with you, Danny.
Yeah. So that's what I'm up to. But
are you gonna visit any old haunts? You got any plans to do, like, visit some friends, or just kind of
yeah. So I arrive tomorrow. We have we have to work, of course, but then we have social drinks with the team.
Okay.
And then we have a full day of work, and like we call it an offsite. So it's our team meeting for the reason why we're going. So we're doing some cool strategy stuff for the year coming, and just a small crew of us, about 7 or 8, I think, and then some dinners after. So that's Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday we're free. I'm actually taking Friday off, and I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and come back Sunday. So I'm going to see some old cycling friends, actually.
Okay.
Have some dinner Friday night with some friends, and then another friend on Saturday night. I'm trying to hook up with some other folks, including a former student when I was a teacher in Queens and the Bronx. I haven't heard back yet, but wanted to go out to lunch with one of my former students. So we'll see if that happens.
You staying in Manhattan, or?
So Manhattan for the first several nights, but then the last night, when I'm on my own dime, I'm going to stay in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, which, as you know, is the hipster capital of the world, Joe.
Oh man, nice, Danny. roll up your pants a little bit. You just
talk about feeling old, man. That's going to be like stepping in, like, to, I don't know. I'm going to feel like Rumpelstiltskin.
It's all right, Danny.
I feel like there were hipsters, but now there's like other versions. They're even younger now. They wear like
you're gonna be like,
aren't they wearing like 80s clothes, like Seinfeld wear? Like they wear like the bleached jeans and the big white sneakers like your dad would wear.
You can
and
use
like they wear like tuck in their like shirts.
You could really use all those clothes you donated, Danny.
Totally. But I'm looking forward to it. I think the highlight might be, Joe, going to Katz's Deli. Do you know Katz's Deli?
Well, it's the famous deli, right?
Famous Katz's. Yeah, they do these ginormous corned beef sandwiches. They have pastrami. They have everything.
Is that when Harry met Sally? Is that Katz's?
I don't know if that's Katz's or not. But I'm looking for. I've been there before, and I'm pretty stoked. I might go to Russ and Daughters too, which is like this bagel place. That
do it all, Danny. Grab a slice.
Oh, I'll definitely grab a slice. Probably after some drinks, we'll want some slices. Wish you could come out, man.
Oh, this sounds like fun, Danny.
I think it's gonna be a good time. No, it's gonna be fun to go back to the old town. I'm gonna see my buddy Ian and Dan and Priscilla and some folks, and it'll be good. But I do hope to get a couple divvy bikes, or I keep calling them divvy bikes, city bike rides.
Yeah.
Because Joe, why so serious? Ride the bike.
All right, Danny. Well, I look forward to all the your Twitter stuff, your Instagram. You can follow cycling. It's Cycling Reporter, right?
That's right.
On all the socials, on Twitter and Instagram, and look for Danny. Don't forget to email us, mail@bikeshopsociety.com. You can email us there. You can find Bike Shop Society on Twitter and Instagram as well, and you can message us there. And next time we'll get to some of the letters that we got over the last couple of weeks. And
totally. And you got to. We want a full report from Cabda. I want the cool, like, Joe Gaspar, like, take on Cabda. Like, I want to hear about the little off the record conversations and gossip and all the industry schmoozing.
Yeah, I can't wait to get there. It actually is going to. I'm actually looking forward to the show and reconnecting with some people and seeing some old friends, and I'll keep my eyes and ears open, and hopefully by that time we'll be able to share some stories about Cabda and New York City.
So psyched, and good to catch up with you after so long.
All right, man. Well, have a good trip, okay? We'll talk
Thank you,
soon.
sir.
Adios.
Ciao.